Thank you. I am so grateful for my family to be here. Thank you guys for coming all the way. Many of them, all of them drove a significant distance to be here, so thank you. My husband just drove from Upland, but I'm so grateful you're here too. I also want to thank Taylor Treadway. He's my administrative assistant, and he helped me throughout this last 6 months do some research and find all these little AI tools that you'll see later on referenced. So thank you so much for your help with that. And I figured we've had a party, we've had a chapel yesterday. Hopefully now is not a nap. So we're gonna enjoy this time together. We're gonna read together, and I'll keep it at a pace maybe that we can have some energy along with it. Okay? All right. Educating humans in the age of AI. Science fiction serves the culture in building a vibrant imagination of possibilities beyond the present realities. This field often explores ethical dilemmas, casting the value of humanity into peril, giving hypothetical or fantastic scenarios. While science fiction ethical projections can be entertaining and at times disturbing, science fiction sometimes becomes a reality. Today, there's no field of study bringing to reality the ethical dilemmas of science fiction more than artificial intelligence. Films have already given humanity much to question as we imagine scenarios where we must choose to abandon our adopted AI child, as in the 2001 film Artificial Intelligence, or decide if marriage is legal for a human and an AI robot, as in the 1999 film starring Robin Williams' Bicentennial Man. In the early 2000s, we could just go home and forget about these ethical quandaries as we log into our dial-up internet or play Snake on our Nokia cell phones. With the explosion of AI in recent years, however, the luxury of pushing ethical questions related to AI in human society into the future is over. Although our society has not yet placed AI children into our homes, the rapid development of AI is bringing many complex feelings and ethical questions to the surface. Particularly in the field of education, a spectrum of adoption, rejection, and concerns have emerged, causing institutions to examine one of the most fundamental and Christian questions of all time. What does it mean to be human? From that question stems additional questions about the role of AI in education, the task reserved for humans alone, and the cooperation of AI and humans in building a future reality. As Christians, an understanding of humanity as Imago Dei can be applied as we educate the next generation, even amid the escalation of an intelligence that supersedes our own. AI history towards outthinking humans. Artificial intelligence has enhanced our technological advancement for decades, increasing usability, optimizing targeted marketing, generating predictive text, suggesting shows, and intriguing us with displays of other things you might like in your online shopping cart. Throughout the history of AI development, concerns regarding its place in human society emerged. Today, society's awareness of AI is at a new level that requires even deeper thought and action since the introduction of generative language AI. Even from the beginning of AI research and development, the comparison between AI and humans was at the forefront of the discussion. In 1956, John McCarthy was the first to use the term artificial intelligence at a lecture at Dartmouth, initiating research on the topic of machines using language to solve complex problems. Barker later referenced AI in 1986, describing a computer acting like a human professor would in grading tests and corresponding in messages. One Christian researcher nuances that the aim of AI development is not always to get the machine to think or act humanly, but rather to think or act rationally, acknowledging that the noetic effects of sin ensure that humans do not always think or behave in a rational manner. Thus, not only does AI research compare machines to humans, but it intends to establish that AI can outpace and supersede human capabilities. Over the years, this became a goal for scientists, technology developers, and programmers to see if a machine can outthink a human. Levels of success in this effort mark some of the major milestones of AI history. In 1997, Deep Blue and IBM computer defeated Garry Kasparov, a world champion chess player in chess. The results stunned the world and produced a new reality check that AI could genuinely supersede the genius of humanity. In 2015 and again in 2016, AlphaGo, Google's AI system, won against a world champion in the ancient Chinese game of Go, a profoundly complex board game of strategy, creativity, and ingenuity. In evaluating the intelligence of the AI system, AlphaGo, 18-time world champion Lee Sedol reflected on the AI strategy, stating, "I thought AlphaGo was based on probability calculation and that it was merely a machine. But when I saw this move, I changed my mind. Surely AlphaGo is creative." Then a history-making milestone occurred in November 2022 when a new form of AI was introduced, OpenAI's ChatGPT. ChatGPT, and now many others like Bard and Gemini, is a generative language AI, which is defined as a class of artificial intelligence systems designed to generate content or data such as text, image, video, music, computer code, and even complex combinations of these media that closely resembles human-created content. These publicly available tools are trained by humans to respond as a human would, but with massive amounts of synthesized and organized data in its knowledge base. This level of intellect from a computer is unprecedented in both the quality of content and the understandability of its usages. A couple of years later, AI tools like these are infused into everyday applications like Microsoft Office Copilot, Amazon Google search engine, and enhanced capabilities in Apple's iPhone 16. The saturation of AI in everyday technologies is now commonplace and growing in usage daily. Scientists and human computers postulated for years about machine learning and the impact it could have on society. Two streams of future projections among those interested in AI research and ethics emerged over the years. On the one hand, some researchers considered AI implementation in human society to be a positive development, anticipating a new era of human flourishing and utopian dreams. Summarizing this happy future of AI-powered human prosperity found in this research, one literature review states, "They foresee an emancipatory turn in which Industry 4.0 will create a digital Athens, where citizens will have increased leisure and a living wage. This will lead people to seek education, to forge social connections, and learn how to live meaningfully, with both pursuits shaping the university purpose instead of the current vocational orientation." CEO of ChatGPT, Sam Altman, falls into the utopian perspective of AI, but does not neglect the need for regulation and oversight. In an interview about the future of AI, Altman describes a new era of humanity that provides greater ease and rest from work than ever before in our history. As industries change and society is undergirded by AI taking on more menial tasks, the utopian perspective believes humans will be free from work to enjoy life, learn for learning's sake, and improve society as a whole. This optimistic outlook on humanity's future with AI carries through to today's education systems implementing AI extensively. In higher education, institutions move from scrambling together policies that mitigate the academic integrity issues in the new reality of AI to now implementing institution-wide initiatives in AI, both administratively and pedagogically. Arizona State University and Harvard University are two examples of advanced adoption of AI throughout the institution. Arizona State University now offers multiple degrees in artificial intelligence and adopted a strategy that is principled and agile, smartly navigating the universal challenges of high costs and computing limitations with a data-informed, impact-focused approach. In other words, they plan to adopt AI in their daily operations as a school to mitigate costs and offer degrees so that other companies can do so as well. Harvard University has taken a more pedagogical approach of AI by producing a resource website called AI Pedagogy Project for instructors to learn how to implement AI in teaching strategies and assessments. Although some excitedly await the benefits of an AI future, others throughout the years have serious concerns about AI and humanity's place in society when AI exceeds human capability. The idea of being replaced, surpassed, useless, and even enslaved fuels the discussion of this negative perspective on AI, resulting in the conclusion that resisting, or at least mitigating AI is the right course of action. Questions regarding what authority we as humans give over to AI as it develops are critical discussions happening in the dystopian perspective on AI. Additionally, concerns about jobs and whole industries being replaced or altered by AI continue to be a fear-generating discourse, motivating some to adopt AI too hastily out of necessity rather than philosophical affirmation. Most dystopian thinkers accept that the inevitability of AI saturation in our society and pour their time into mitigating its negative impact on the world. Innovator and billionaire Elon Musk falls into a more dystopian understanding of the future of AI. He believes that AI will advance to judge humanity as useless and a barrier to efficiency and reason. So convinced of this future, Musk has developed Neuralink, an AI implant in human brains that can improve human capacities. The first human implant has already been done, and clinical trials for those who suffer from quadriplegia, paraplegia, vision loss, hearing loss, the inability to speak, and/or major limb amputation are underway. Musk's goal is to mitigate the dystopian future by making humans more relevant in the new AI age, able to compete with AI by evolving with AI. Christian discourse on AI often falls into a more dystopian category of thought, but without billions at their disposal, have chosen to withdraw, restrict, or ignore AI implementation. Especially after November 2022, the rapid development of AI usability, Christian research tends towards concern rather than hope. In 2023, Barna released data about how U.S. Christians feel about AI and the church. They discovered that compared to non-Christians' perspective, Christians are generally more reserved about the use of artificial intelligence and do not think it's good for the church. Trevin Wax, on his podcast Reconstructing Faith, explored further the apprehensions of Christians regarding AI. He specifically articulates that there's a difference between synthesizing information, AI capability, and having wisdom, God-given human capacity. He falls in line with other Christians attempting to understand the uniqueness of humans in light of AI's takeover of many aspects of human life and skill. Jason Thacker, Senior Research Fellow at the Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission, likewise articulates that AI cannot replace humanity's importance in this world, even if AI can do more and think better than most or all humans. Thacker helps raise to the surface of the discussion one theological doctrine in particular that is critical for Christians in the age of AI. Humans are the image of God. AI and the Imago Dei. Humans have spent their history endeavoring to understand their existence and purpose. Ancient religions and modern philosophies attempt to answer the questions, who are we and why are we here? In our current era of thought, human understanding of the self is defined by the self, or is considered simply a facade of physical reality. Michael Horton, in his Systematic Theology, states, at the present moment, we're witnessing a seismic shift in Western anthropology from a view of the self as a stable, semi-divine, spiritual entity that transcends the body-time and change to the idea of the self as nothing more than a social construct and physical-chemical interactions. Carl Trueman, in his book, The Rise and Triumph of the Modern Self, explores this idea in its philosophical origins, tracing the change of an era from the economic man to the psychological man, where the individual must be authentic to his or her inner feelings and desires, coined as expressive individualism by Charles Taylor. In other words, the current understanding of what it means to be human is not defined outside of humanity, i.e. by our Creator. Rather, humanity decides for itself who we are. Or further, each human determines for himself or herself who she is and why she is. With this firmly rooted autonomy from the Creator, humans are now faced with the reality of AI, a seemingly superior product of skill, purpose, and efficiency. AI either poses a direct threat to self-made humanity in that it will certainly outperform human capacities, resulting in serious questions regarding the purpose of humanity, or AI is the answer to achieving all that human whim desires to become true, authentic selves in our own image. When humans find their identity in their capabilities and outside of a God-ordained purpose, AI's lead on capabilities throws humanity into chaos, searching for new meaning and new purpose. Likewise, when humans find their purpose in making themselves align with their inner desires without regard to God's design, AI fuels the break from God's plan all the more, supercharging the chasm between humans and God. Christians, however, do not need to search anew for meaning or widen the gap between self-identity and God's purpose in the age of AI. In the first chapter of the Bible, Genesis 1:26 through 28, God declares that the value and dignity of humanity is tied to himself in intrinsic ways, namely that we are made according to his image. He says of us, "Then God said, 'Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the heavens, and over livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth.' So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. And God blessed them. And God said to them, 'Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth, subdue it, have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth.'" In these foundational verses regarding his creation of humanity, God proclaims a connection between humanity and himself. He makes humans in his own image. Unlike the trends of our age, humanity is not merely physical matter with a facade of personhood, nor is humanity a self-made project for each individual to undertake. Humanity is God-made, and that has implications far beyond the physical makeup of the body that transcends realities of the divine. Exploring views on the concept of the image of God, John Kilner explains that for some, the image of God has solely to do with the human ability to reason, rule, or be relational. In these views, however, he exposes that due to varying capacities to reason, rule, or relate, history has shown that humans can be treated inhumanely if their capacities are of a lesser degree than others. If mere capacity equals image, then when someone exhibits less capacity, they are less image. This conclusion, though, is called into question given other biblical texts that uphold the dignity of all humans, such as laws against murder and the prohibition of partiality based on wealth, indicating that the image of God is not merely the quantity or quality of capacity. Kilner shows, instead, that when the image of God is understood to be ontological, intrinsic worth and value possessed by all humans, regardless of capacity, race, gender, or other such qualities, humans are respected as image bearers worthy of protection and care. Moreover, the unique and irremovable image of God in humanity indicates a deep dependence on and connection to the Creator for all identity, value, and purpose according to his own image. And thus humans relate to him and the world with that reality in mind. The image of God is not what humans do, but who humans are. We are the image of God. And out of that reality, we operate in certain ways in this world. Estep and Kim likewise consider the various views on the image of God, articulating the categories of substantive, functional, relational, and teleological. They conclude that God's image within humanity is what we are, and in turn is reflected in the components of our existence, our relational capacity with one another and God, in our function to fulfill God's express purpose for humanity, and even in the eschatological reality that awaits us. In the fall, while the image of God is not absent from humanity and remains ontological, human propensity to sin and the reality of sinful nature results in an inconsistent and inaccurate image of the glorious Creator. In the garden, Adam and Eve reflect instead the image of the snake, believing a lie regarding their nature, God's goodness, and his command to them. This first act of sin now infiltrates all of humanity, so that Romans 3:11 states, "No one seeks for God, all have turned aside, together they have become worthless, no one does good, not even one." Further, James 3:9, for instance, indicates that our mouths bless and curse simultaneously, showing the impact of our image-bearing inconsistency. Instead of living according to the reality of bearing God's own image, humanity after the fall displays false images of the goodness and glory of God. Christ, however, offers the forgiveness of sin through his death, so that those who believe are united to him, the true and perfect image bearer, and makes us new creations. As regenerate, image-bearing humans, we remain ontologically image bearers, but are now freed from the enslavement of sin, able now to put on the new self. We now image the reality of our union with Christ in our lives. We are also charged with a renewed purpose that echoes our Genesis mandate to have dominion, now commanded to bring all creation under the authority of Christ through making disciples of Jesus of every nation. Christ, the perfect image of God, gives us the ability to reflect God's glory as faithful image bearers, as new creations, is himself the visible image of God for us to imitate, and establishes our Christian mission to spread that glory throughout the earth by preaching the good news of salvation in him. Thus, our image bearing, united to Christ our Savior and the true image of God, can now display the goodness and glory of God, and results in our purpose to know Christ and to make him known. In this view, the threat of AI dystopia, or the hope of AI utopia, is subverted and replaced by a renewed realization that humanity cannot lose our value or purpose in the world, since human value and purpose are intrinsic to human nature itself as the image of God. Thacker contemplates the implications of this view in his book, stating, "Our status as image bearers is secure. No technological advancement will ever be able to change what it means to be distinct from creation. Not only is human image bearing a security of worth, but it is also a guiding doctrine for how Christians can understand, regulate, and utilize AI in ways consistent with that image bearing reality in light of our purpose to know Christ and make him known." In the Southern Baptist Convention annual meeting of 2023, messengers adopted the first religious resolution on artificial intelligence and emerging technologies, which provides key principles by which Christians can navigate the escalating realities of AI. This resolution establishes, although these tools are designed with distinct values and purposes in mind and shape us in subtle yet meaningful ways, including our understanding of God, humanity, and the world around us, we alone, as distinct moral agents created by God, bear the moral responsibility for their development and use. Consistent with Genesis 1:26 through 27, this statement reminds humanity that we alone have been charged with the dominion over creation to bring it under the reign and rule of the Creator. This responsibility includes authority over the innovations of AI, requiring humanity to align AI with the Creator's aim for creation, rather than allowing AI to reign independent of human oversight. Furthermore, as Christians who are now new creations, reflecting the image of Christ, we are called to engage the world around us with the unchanging gospel message of hope and reconciliation. And the church has a unique role in proclaiming human dignity for all and calling the humane use of AI in all aspects of society. In the 2023 resolution and the 2019 Evangelical Statement of Principles on AI, the doctrine of Imago Dei provides a foundation for common guidelines as humans discern the proper use of AI. Some of the guiding principles include the following. AI can be used to inform and aid human reasoning and moral decision-making, but humans are solely responsible as moral agents for the use of AI. AI will be inherently subject to bias and therefore requires human oversight and discretion. We encourage all who employ AI to do so in honest, transparent, and Christ-like ways that focus on loving God and loving our neighbor as ourselves, never seeking to willfully deceive others or take advantage of them for unjust gain or the accumulation of power. Humanity should not use AI and other technological innovations as a reason to move towards lives of pure leisure, even if greater social wealth creates such possibilities. In sum, because humans are made by God in his image, we are morally responsible for using AI in ways consistent with his design and plan for creation. While AI developers may have nefarious purposes, Christians should work to mitigate those intentions. Christians are not prohibited from using AI, but we should seek to use AI in ethical ways towards our ultimate goal of knowing Christ and making him known. And ultimately, the utopia humans long for is fulfilled in Christ's second coming, ushering in the new heavens and new earth, not in an AI-powered version of this world. AI, Imago Dei, and Christian education. While many aspects of society will undergo massive change as a result of AI, the field of education is already grappling with its impact on student integrity, curriculum objectives, instructor workload, and administrative efficiency. Students, instructors, and administrators need guidance on how to operate in the new realities. With our understanding of image bearing as a foundation for education, Christian educators can navigate questions and issues about AI with discernment. George Knight, in his book, Philosophy in Education, An Introduction in Christian Perspective, wrote, "Education is one arm of God's restorative and reconciling effort. It may therefore be seen as a redemptive activity. As a redemptive activity, Christian education seeks to direct a learner towards a specific outcome, namely to facilitate the growth of the student to become like Christ and make him known." Estep, Anthony, and Allison put it this way: Christian education is Christian because what we believe theologically should inform and influence not only the content of education, but also the overall approach to education. They explain that for education to be truly Christian, a commitment to the spiritual growth of the learner and the fulfillment of the Great Commission must be maintained. Therefore, in Christian education, we must discern the right understanding and use of AI in light of our doctrine of Imago Dei and its implications regarding who we are as humans and what we're called to do by our Creator. To do so, we must understand what AI can do in education, what only humans should do in Christian education, and what ways Christians might utilize AI in Christian education. What can AI do? In the fall of 2024, that's right now, AI adoption and integration in education is growing among students, professors, and administrators. Students are aware of AI tools that can make learning content and completing coursework much faster and sometimes higher quality. Tools are freely available or available via subscription to write complete papers with or without footnotes. Summarize lectures/videos while simultaneously creating flashcards and other study tools. Mimic personalized tone and voice in written or audio form. Create slide decks from a single prompt with images and relevant content on any topic. Generate graphical images from a prompt. Brainstorm ideas or request an outline, strategy, methodology for any given prompt, and many other actions with new AI tools every month. Professors can also utilize AI tools available today to enhance their educational goals and complete time-consuming tasks quickly. Ways AI is enhancing educational goals on behalf of professors include generating personalized learning paths for students based on student analytics, creating lesson plans and learning tools like rubrics and slide decks from a prompt, providing customized accommodation to students with learning disabilities, as well as automating grading, feedback, quiz making, and other assessment features. AI can even, as it can do for students, mimic the professor's tone and voice to generate written, audio, or visual learning materials. Administrators. Education administration is also expedited and boosted by AI. Administrators can implement AI tools such as chatbots to answer most questions that would have come via phone or email. Automate responses to the student needs. Analyze student records and data. Schedule courses and professors. Align curriculum with objectives and assessments, and even facilitate faculty evaluations. While the above section provide a generic overview of the current possibilities of AI implementation in education, the tools and usage cases of tools grow exponentially as more students, professors, and administrators adopt the tools in their institutions, with AI integration also occurring in our standard everyday tools like Microsoft Office, Google Search Engine, and various phone applications and operating systems. It is not an overstatement to say that AI is now a normal part of life and will continue to saturate most every aspect of education in the coming years. What should only humans do in Christian education? Paul, considering eating food dedicated to idols, states, "All things are lawful, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful, but not all things build up." While Christians certainly have many freedoms in Christ, we must consider the same sort of reasoning Paul employs here. Although there are possibilities that are available to students, educators, and administrators, not all things that are possible are aligned with the goal of Christian education. We must contemplate what should be done, not just what can be done, as image bearers of the Almighty God and endowed by Him with purpose in this creation. Establishing principles of educational intent and personal authenticity can provide guardrails for using AI in Christian education. Considering our ontological nature as image bearers, humans connect with God uniquely and display various aspects of God to the world. And as Christians united to Christ, we model ourselves after Him as the true image of God. Education, in the Christian sense, directs and fosters growth in Christ-likeness and aims the learner towards obeying the Great Commission mandate. When we line that reality up with the aforementioned possibilities of using AI for education, we see that usage depends on what aspects of formation into Christ-likeness is intended in each educational action, and the ethical nature of the authenticity of achieving that intention. For students, the acceptability of AI usage depends on the formational goals of the curriculum and the expectation that the student authentically achieves the goal. For example, perhaps a paper is intended to help a student research, apply critical thinking, and argue their own points as a measurement of their understanding and comprehension of a topic. If that's so, then asking AI to research, think critically, and argue on the student's behalf is outsourcing the formational goal entirely and indicating the inauthenticity of goal achievement. The student did not actually grow as intended, and additionally promoted himself or herself as having grown when that was not indeed the case. Although the assignment was complete, education did not occur. However, perhaps there is an assignment intended to help a student practice their argumentation and critical thinking skills. The student uses AI as a conversation partner, arguing and rebutting back and forth, and then analyzing the strengths and weaknesses of each side of the argument presented as a written assignment to the professor. In this case, the student did indeed grow in the intended goal of the assignment while utilizing AI and did not present an inauthentic achievement of the goal. Similarly, for professors or administrators to utilize AI in some ways may breach the trust of the student and the authenticity of the interactions that are meant to foster the development of Christ-likeness in image bearers. While some assignments may be pass or fail based on submission alone, many other assignments require key opportunities for the professor to shape student thought and practice, aligning them with their image-bearing reality of who they are in relation to God. Outsourcing some of these things may miss critical components of what it means to be a Christian educator. The goal of a Christian educator is not merely efficiency in response time, but it is to help the student grow in maturity as they reflect God to the world and do His will in the world. Thus, while some tasks can be automated and optimized, other tasks require the personal investment and intention of a professor or administrator called to serve and usher the students towards Christ. Only humans should do the tasks in Christian Christian education that are intended for their growth and development in line with the goal of Christian education. AI may have many usages, but students, professors, and administrators should first consider what the formative goals of the task are, whether it be writing, listening, grading, or communicating. If the activity is a critical component of Christian education aimed at fostering the clarity of the image of God, we cannot outsource that task to AI. AI will not grow in Christ-likeness for us. Furthermore, each should examine the required authenticity of their investment in becoming or helping another become more like Christ. Given our foundation, ways to utilize AI in Christian education, given our foundation as image bearers and the guiding principles of educational intent and personal authenticity, there are ways in which AI could be used ethically in Christian education. It may be possible that the innovations of AI could help Christians become more like Christ and accelerate our aim at the Great Commission. To integrate AI into Christian education while respecting humanity's image-bearing reality, Christians can examine once again our educational goals and objectives to discover ways in which AI could enhance the depth of learning. In 1990, the graphing calculator disturbed math educators into thinking that perhaps the invention would usher in the end of math itself. That fear did not materialize, but instead, using the graphing calculator, mathematics advanced to accomplish harder and more complex issues using such a tool. Perhaps Christians can investigate whether or not the same may be true for AI innovations in our day. Maybe with the speed, accuracy, synthesis, and understandability of AI, we can discover ways that will challenge our students beyond what was possible before. Bloom's taxonomy and its revised version can give educators structure to rethink their existing learning objectives and goals in light of AI advancement. Bloom's revised taxonomy provides educators with 6 verbs that move from more basic foundational learning to more advanced complex learning. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. While every student needs foundational learning and complex learning, challenging educators to consider ways to move students into more complex and advanced learning activities and assessments using AI is one path towards enhancing education today. Conclusion. Using the doctrine of the image of God, implementing the principles of educational intent and personal authenticity, and reconsidering goals in light of Bloom's revised taxonomy, Christian educators can discern the use of as well as accelerate the implementation of AI. As the hypothetical of science fiction becomes reality in AI, Christian educators cannot ignore or merely restrict all use of AI. Instead, perhaps by using AI in Christian ways and with Christian ethics, we can be even more effective in our goal to know Christ and make him known.